welcome once again to yet another episode of Two Noobs Talking. John, what the heck is Steve doing over there? I don't know what's going on over there.
No idea.
Yo, you guys said we were off this week. What the hell?
Well, yeah. I mean, technically we are. This is going to be a clip show. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry you didn't get the message or anything.
Now you're intruding on my personal business. This is
I'm sorry.
Well, we're all on the same text thing. I don't understand how you wouldn't get this. How about this? You just tell everybody Merry Christmas and get the hell out of here because apparently you're trying to solve up. So
all right, well, very well. I would like to wish all of our watchers and listeners and creepers have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate, and a Happy New Year. How's that?
There you go.
Get out of my house.
As Steve tries to pry himself away from us, Johnny, take your time, man. Great job this year, as always, and we hope you enjoyed this entire clip show that we've got prepared, right? I mean, it's got all of our great takes from all of, we got like 12, something like that. I don't know how many we got. We got a ton. Yeah, we got a lot. Well, we hope you enjoy it. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next week for another great episode of Two Noobs coming right at you next week. Happy New Year.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here because I've learned some things this week that should give some people pause about some, very important people in our government.
Oh boy.
It's come to my attention.
all choked up for this.
It's come to my attention that certain people are just not who we think they are, and we should run them up the flagpole, as it were.
I just want to. I had nothing to do with this.
This is we I don't know how we can take anything CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says seriously anymore when we find out that she is married into a mob family.
Unbelievable.
Look at this wedding. Look at her wedding picture. There are at least 2 or 3 high-profile people from the Corleone family in that picture. She is running the CDC under the guise of being a federal employee, but in reality, she is leveraging her mafia ties.
It's fantastic though. That picture though of the entire wedding looks great. I just wouldn't want to
What
be
a photographer, man.
Oh,
That's
heck yeah.
great. I gotta hire this guy for the next thing I gotta take shots for. 'Cause it's perfect.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with this photo at all.
Nothing wrong with this photo at all.
Nothing wrong with the photo, but what's going on in it? How can we deal with this? Next, Mitt Romney, obviously involved in some kind of Nazi
Archaeological dig?
Archaeological dig. Yes, thank you. Some kind of Nazi archaeological dig going on here, and Mitt Romney is right in the middle of it. Looks hot wherever they are, in the desert.
And he looks weirdly in air conditioning.
I don't know what you're talking about. But this shows Mitt Romney is not fit for government with affiliations with the Nazis.
Absolutely not. No.
What they're looking for.
I would like to say that even without this photo, I don't think Mitt Romney is fit. That's neither here nor there.
Exactly.
Now here, Joe Manchin,
Oh boy.
clearly is involved in a cult that involves surrounding himself with little people who are clearly being fed nothing but pure beta carotene.
Exactly. I mean,
I heard this about him, but I didn't believe it. But thank you for the visual evidence.
This shows he's got to be voted out. Absolutely horrible. That top hat and bow tie combination are not working.
Maybe. I mean, that photo was taken after he voted for the Inflation Reduction Act or whatever it was, or whatever.
It could be, but those little people need to be saved immediately.
Absolutely.
It could just be a picture of Congress celebrating that.
It could be.
You could be.
It could be his staffers. You never know. It could be his staffers.
It could be his
you know,
staff. I don't know.
Illinois. You never know. It could be his staffers.
Now here's Liz Cheney involved in some kind of criminal activity. I don't know where this Shark Man is coming from, but it's very disturbing. Very disturbing to see her doing this kind of thing.
I want to know what her cardio is like, because she does not look winded at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. She's carrying some sort of javelin there. I'm sure that it weighs.
Yeah, it looks like it's stuck into her chin.
Yeah, a little bit.
Shark Boy though, in the back. I'm running the other direction.
Go for it.
Yeah, getting rid of that. No way.
And then finally, everybody's darling, Dwayne Johnson these days.
Oh boy.
I don't know what's going on here,
Seems
but I'm pretty sure it's illegal, whatever this is.
It seems like a normal rock Instagram. I don't see anything. I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
I don't smell what the Rock's cooking here, guys. I don't know, but I agree with you. Will. It's like something's definitely fishy going on there.
Well, clearly all these people need to be locked up. Balls, deal with it.
Fantastic, yeah. John bringing this ketchup on the meat here with this article here from the Guardian, the UK Guardian. Meta's new AI chatbot can't stop bashing Facebook. Launched on Friday, the conversational AI fueled by material found online spews uncomfortable truths and blatant lies. Oh my goodness.
It's great.
What you expect from a robot?
Exactly. That's not sentient at all. That's not sentient at all. No, not at all. Launched on Friday, BlenderBot is a prototype of Meta's conversational AI, guys, which, according to Facebook's parent company, can converse on nearly any topic. On the demo website, members of the public are invited to chat with the tool and share feedback with developers. The result thus far...
In tool, do they mean Mark Zuckerberg or the robot? Because that's not clear.
That's true. I guess it's one and the same. I don't know.
Could be.
The results thus far have been rather interesting, though, gents. Asked about Mark Zuckerberg, the bot told BuzzFeed's Max Wolf that, quote, he is a good businessman, but his business practices are not always ethical. It is funny that he has all this money and still wears the same clothes! Exclamation point, end quote. The bot has also made clear that it's not a Facebook user. Telling Vice's Janice Rose that it's since deleted its account after learning about the company's privacy scandals. Since deleting Facebook, my life has been much better, end quote. I mean, this is just amazing. John, I have to go to you though. You were doing what when you first presented this article to us? You were doing what now?
I couldn't stop laughing. Oh my god, it was great.
Yeah,
it was great. They produced a robot that uses the internet to shit on them. It's great. It's exactly what Zuckerberg does.
Yeah. It's just so funny. In a conversation, I have to throw this in. Yeah, exactly. I have to throw this in. In conversation with Jeff Horowitz of the Wall Street Journal, it insisted Donald Trump was still president and would continue to be, quote, even after his second term ends in 2024. It added another dig at Meta, saying Facebook, quote, has a lot of fake news on it these days. End quote. There's also some pretty bad things too. It's given anti-Semitic claims,
yes,
anti-gay themes, all kinds of really crappy stuff.
Later in the article, they also say Twitter, something to do with Twitter was having problems with that too. Like they obviously do not have the technology to get this thing right. So it's just laughable at this point that it's, instead of being what Twitter was being anti-Semitic and tweeting stuff out, this Facebook bot is just trashing the company that's making it, which is funny.
Such a great, yeah. I mean, just a complete turn of phrase. Illinois, what are your thoughts here on this? This is just...
What's your campaign bot gonna say?
Yeah, what's your campaign bot gonna be?
The campaign bot will say what I tell it to say.
Oh, there you go.
This clearly demonstrates one of two things. Either one, robots are only as smart as the people that train them to do what they do. Obviously, some smart ass got into training this robot and got it because it wouldn't be doing these things on its own. You know, it's just the way people are. They can't play nice with toys. They have to corrupt them in their infancy like this.
Exactly. Says he's not classy, but look how he gets classy when he makes homemade.
Well, you got to buy soft caramels to make these things. It's not exactly like there's a bunch of them out there.
That's right. Not go where there's.
What do you think?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Twix.
Oh, okay.
Just because I think Twix gives you a broader variety of flavors and textures.
There you go.
You got the caramel, you got the cookie,
you got two of them.
Chocolate covering.
Hey, got
100 grand is great, but it's.
They have a great marketing program, left and right.
Yeah.
Like Twix does everything right.
Yeah, exactly.
100 grands are great, but the caramel inside is usually a little bit on the chewy side. Whereas Twix, you can just gobble those right down.
Oh, easily. And the best thing about them too is that not only with the bar form, but you also get them in the bite size.
Yeah.
You really do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 100 grand, you're
gonna
not.
go with Twix.
All right, Twix moves on. Twix is in the finals.
They're the 2 seed, right?
They're the 2 seed.
They are the 2 seed. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we got the 4 seed Milky Way versus the 8 seed Hershey Bar, who upset Snickers already.
Yeah.
So
I'm
going zone defense. Is what
okay, so Hershey's classic, right? That is a very classic bar, as we all talked about, as Steve eloquently talked about. You could break them apart, save them for later. You could dunk them in anything, really. Coffee.
And it's Hershey, PA. Like it comes
Hershey,
from
you got the home
state.
field. But
I'll be there this coming weekend.
There you go.
What? I'm going Milky Way, only because of the caramel nougat when you bite into it.
There you go.
That adds it right on top of it. So I'm going Milky Way.
A great choice. And we got the 2 versus the 4.
And this is hard.
See, this is how the NCAA works too. 2 versus 4.
I hope nobody was placing wagers on this.
I hope so. I hope they were.
Do you believe there was a line? Damn it!
Just don't be working for 2 noobs or you're fired.
Yeah, I really screwed all those people who bet on Snickers, man. Screw them.
Exactly. Yep. So we got Twix.
The millions we pay out for this production. I mean,
we got Twix and Milky Way. We got Twix and Milky Way, guys. So this is going to be what? Best of 3?
We're going to take the vote. We're going to take the vote. So Matt, you give us the vote and then go counterclockwise.
Okay. So Milky Way, right? You got, as I mentioned, you got the caramel, all that kind of stuff, right? Really good tasting bar. Never going to turn it down. Twix, same deal. You got the, and like, for me, it's a Twix. Again, you get 2 Twix bars. You only get 1 Milky Way. So you got the double.
And they might be the same size if you actually put them, like if you mold them together, they're probably the exact same.
They probably would be the same size, exactly. I just love the fact that you get that cookie crunch in Twix too. We don't talk about that. It's layered on top of a hard cookie crunch. That's always fun to eat. Milky Way is more of a soft candy bar. Not taking anything away from Milky Way. It is a worthy opponent. But hands down, I'm going Twix.
Left or right? Left or right?
I'm gonna go with I'll go with you, John. Go ahead on my left.
No, I meant left or right Twix. Which one do you buy? Because there's the left Twix and there's the right Twix. They're made from 2 factories. Don't you know this marketing thing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll go with right Twix.
Okay.
I'll go with the right Twix. Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll go. I'm absolutely positively. I have they're not even thought. Twix. I'm the left Twix, but I'm Twix. 100%.
100%.
100%.
Okay.
Milky Way can't even compete with a Twix. If I go to the store and there's 2 choices, I'll never pick Milky Way.
Okay. But you're not discounting Milky Way.
No, Milky Way's great. Yeah. If I walked into Steve's house and he handed me a Milky Way, I would be like, thank you, sir, very much for this amazing
candy bar. Yeah.
John, stop pumping my leg. God damn it.
All right, Steve, what do you got?
All right, well, I mean, Twix has already won the championship, so my vote doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
but if I've been sitting here pondering it, I'm going to go with the Twix.
Oh, wow.
Right or
I
left?
love nougat. I actually like. I eat three Musketeers really weird. I'll like eat the chocolate off of the nougat and then eat the nougat separately.
Not offensive because it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
It's a parody of offensive is what it is. Like if we did this in 1933 when it came out and they were like, that's offensive, you can't use that. They got rid of all that. They got rid of all that because they sold out. Yeah. So this isn't offensive now. It's just offensive to, cancel culture. So I could care less if they change their name. I immediately, when they were talking about it in 14, I wanted the Warriors. So I'm disappointed since 14. Because they should have just changed it then. They could have stopped cancel culture. We could have just made a cool name, could have kept the colors, just get the dude off the helmet, put the arrow up there.
Yeah.
We're money, we're good.
Yeah.
So I've been out of the game for a while with this, and then you come with the Commanders. I'm like, you suck.
Yeah.
Like, you suck at every level of your organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Daniel Snyder sucks, and it shows.
Oh,
I wanted to go with the Sentinels. Slap Keanu Reeves on the helmet. You're good to go, man.
It's a far better logo.
Awesome.
Can we have him like John Wick with the pew pew in his hand?
That's awesome.
Well, no, you'd have to go with the replacements. And what was that? Shane Falco.
Yeah.
I just think John Wick with the beard, though, it would look better.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I remember when it came out, my initial reaction, I'd love to get your initial reactions, gents, but mine was, well, that was safe.
Very underwhelming.
It was very safe. It wasn't like, it was carefully orchestrated. It was like, well, we can't go down this road, but we also can't go down that road. Steve has more on that later, by the way, because I think you're going to, I cannot wait for you to go into that with the legal ramifications. But it was safe, was it not? It was just so incredibly daintily like, oh my god, okay, Commanders. Ah!
It was blah.
Anticlimactic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great absolutely.
Great. Like, okay, let's see what this is.
Commanders.
I was kind of excited because you don't rebrand a major sports team very often.
No.
So I was excited, and I was thinking, let me just, my fandom in here, right? I'm thinking New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, right? Okay.
Dallas Cowboys, yeah.
That's got clout. Dallas Cowboys, that's got clout. Like, that makes me feel like it's an NFC. And then you roll in the Commanders, and I'm like...
What USFL team came in here?
Like, you just don't fit.
XFL, even.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. I think it was John. Was like, that sounds like something you put on your Madden, expansion team.
That's totally me rebranding Washington. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I don't like the Redskins, and I'm playing Madden, and I'm like, oh well, I've got a choice of 6 logos because that's all Madden gives you, right? So you're like, well, I'll keep the colors, and okay, I've got a horse, I've got a frog, I've got something that kind of looks like a military thing. Commanders. Like, and then you're the Washington Commanders, like on your Madden, because you have no choices.
Exactly.
I feel that they're an NFL friggin' team. They have choices.
Yeah,
and had 2 years. This is what struck me. Like, the Cleveland Indians changed their name to the Guardians,
like that.
In 7 minutes.
It was immediate. This team, and maybe it's just because they're the most horribly run franchise in all of the 4 major sports.
Yeah.
And I'm talking off the field as well as on the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're like, okay, we need to change our name. Ooh, we need time to do this. Okay, we're going to be calling ourselves the Washington Football Team for now.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to play the entire NFL season like that. Okay, we're going to play the entire 2021 season like that too. We're going to go 2 seasons as the football team.
You kind of like look at your watch going like,
had 2 years to figure this out,
and you picked a name worse than football team.
Yeah, that's saying something. That's unbelievable. I think who
was involved in this?
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
It was really funny to me. School kids and Ron Rivera. I swear to God.
Yeah.
He was just holding up pictures.
Yeah. What was really funny to me was I was looking. I think it was like either on Instagram or maybe even YouTube. Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, and Kyle Brandt, who's like one of the, he loves anything NFL, big Chicago Bears fan, but he hears the word, Kay, one of his co-hosts, like, asks him, so what do you think? And Kyle's like, yeah, it's good. It's good. I could definitely like sign myself up to this. This is a really good team name, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. Stop being a mouthpiece for the NFL. It's not a good team name. It's terrible. It's awful. It's safe. It has nothing whatsoever to do with anything to do with Washington. It's bad. You can say that on your network.
Matt's been drooling about this all week.
Love it. Headline, CDC under fire for COVID response. Really? Announces plans to revamp agency. In an email that was sent out by Dr. Rochelle Walensky of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. She announced plans...
Where's the ha? Oh, come on.
Ha.
Thank you.
She announced plans on Monday of this, I guess last week, to revamp the agency that has come under blistering criticism for its performance leading the U.S. response to the coronavirus pandemic, saying, quote, "It is time to step back and strategically position the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, to support the future of public health." John? Your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this, bud?
I got to pass right now because you got to get to the part where they bring the other guy in. Then I'll go.
There we go. That's right. Yeah, furthering on.
Yes, please.
In an agency-wide email, as I mentioned, Walensky said she has hired a senior federal health official outside of the Atlanta-based agency to conduct a 1-month review to, quote, kick off an evaluation of CDC's structure, systems, and processes, end quote. Now your thoughts, John.
So, now let's review all things that happen in the government. So, they are under fire from the people, now saying they don't do a good job. So, what does the CDC do? They do what all government agencies do, and they hire another government official to come over and tell them what they're doing wrong so you don't question them anymore. This is bureaucratic BS 101. They're good at it.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not revamping shit.
I'm impressed that it's going to only last 1 month, considering that 2 years of this entire agency has been basically...
Probably only got a month of retirement. That's why they gave him this gig. Yeah, I mean, it's that much full of shit that you
really
can't.
Is.
You have to laugh at it.
It is. It's.
You're gonna come in and tell them all they did wrong. You could pull any dude off the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna take them long to figure out what went wrong.
Communication,
bad data, bad. You figure it out, right? I mean, it's just everything.
Most of them were on vacation.
Yeah.
When they were throwing in the towel, so they let things go a little bit longer than they should have. Everybody knows what's wrong with the CDC. They're bad at stuff.
Yeah, speaking of that, John, you know how bad it is in the CDC when you get an email that says this. This is directly from Walensky, quote, "Over the past year, I have heard from many of you that you would like to see CDC build on its rich history and modernize for the world around us. I am grateful for your efforts to lean into the hard work of transforming CDC for the better. I look forward to our collective efforts to position the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the public health community for greater success in the future," end quote.
Pardon me, I'm going to drink this thing of hand sanitizer.
That's what I'm having right now. I'm having hand sanitizer in the coffee cup. There you go.
Sanitizing.
This is, John, to your point, it's brilliant. This is the bureaucratic nonsense that goes on, right? With this, like, one agency has to bring in another agency to talk to this agency. This is why you screwed up. This is how you do it better, and we're going to do it in a month. And I can tell you from a Lean Six perspective, nothing happens in a month. It takes years. A good project takes years, maybe even longer than that, to get fully completed. This, for them to go in there and to do a forensic audit of a month, get out of here with this. It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. But I mean,
Not shocked.
not shocked at all.
Not shocked at all.
No.
Now that most people didn't know what the CDC was 2 years ago, now know that the CDC is like everything else.
I had not even heard of the CDC until the movie Outbreak came out in 1995.
Yeah,
and I don't think I'd heard of the CDC.
Spoiler alert, you're going to have to look away in 3, 2, 1.
PDMA!
Oh my God, what the hell? Yeah, that was a little bit of a shocker. Hopefully that was. But in the spirit of Halloween, I suppose, guys, we have this wonderful, wonderful science article here. Terrifying close-up of an ant's face give horror movie monsters a run for their money. And if you zoom in, this was an ant's face. No question about it. It was actually submitted in to the 48th annual Nikon Small World Photomicrography competition. I didn't realize there was that level. It's the 48th annual Nikon Small World Photomicrography competition. That's wild, gentlemen.
Well,
that's crazy.
yeah, but isn't the real problem they didn't win? Like, that's messed up.
They didn't win.
I don't
That
think
is messed
yeah,
up.
I thought I saw they didn't win.
Yeah,
That's
they didn't
shocking.
win.
The tight shot.
Public service announcement to that dude, though. You're a douchebag. Like, great photo. I understand what you were going. You're a douchebag, though. Because why would you?
Oh, yeah.
Really? An ant's face? Come on, bro. Like, you could have done so much.
John won't be able to sleep anymore now.
Don't scare the
seriously.
children and me.
Tight shot of the insect captured by this doctor in Lithuania, of all people, gentlemen, shows the ant's beady red eyes, angry expression, and what appears to be long, sharp teeth. It's just amazing. This doctor captured a photo of the ant by using reflective light with a 5 times optic lens magnification. It's really
iPhone
amazing.
13.
Yeah, it
That'll
didn't
be the next commercial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It did not. Oh my God! What's happening? You're exactly right, Steve. He did not win. First place presented a detailed photo of the embryonic hand of a Madagascar giant day gecko, showing the complete internal structure.
I'm 100% with that dude.
So we'll have to I'll throw that picture up on screen when I find it. But yeah, it's really amazing. But let's talk. Initial reactions when this was sent, pre-production, gentlemen. I'm going to go with John on this one. Initially when you saw it, what was your initial reaction, man?
That one of my closest friends in the entire world is a nutcase. And then I read the article. And I looked at the picture over and over again. It is impressive. If H.R. Geiger would have drawn that and it not been real, could you imagine how much aliens would still be selling?
Just amazing. Yeah.
It's impressive. They are that small, and then when you zoom them, that is scary. Could you imagine that breaking into your house? Just trying to eat you? If that was a movie when we were a kid?
Yeah.
They do, but they don't do it on the human level. Because Jason's got nothing on that.
No, not even close.
Nothing.
Not even close. Yeah. Yeah, since...
you wouldn't be afraid of anything if you saw that as a kid.
Since we'll talk to our resident lunatic that actually sent us this.
He's a lunatic.
Steve. What do you think about this? Your thumbs up. Your initial thoughts since you found the article. What was your initial reaction when you first found it? Like, walk me through it. What?
2 impressions. The first was that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids just downright lied to me about what a giant ant looked like. And then 2,
and that's a great movie, by the way. That's a terrific movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go Rick Moranis.
And Johnny,
Yes.
we can't appreciate nature anymore. We have to have Wi-Fi. Why don't you go ahead and just introduce this topic? Because I when you sent it to me, I was just like,
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead and just introduce it, bud.
It took me 3 days to read this article because I was so pissed. Like, I couldn't get past the headline. I'm like, why, people, why? So apparently the government in Africa, I believe, yes, where Kilimanjaro is, has decided that we need...
Good geography there, John.
Yes, that we need Wi-Fi at the summit. So they've started this program in which now at the mountain you have, when you start, you have Wi-Fi. And soon when they figure this all out, you will get it when you get to the summit. Like, they will actually have working Wi-Fi.
Oh, Kilimanjaro. Yeah.
Yes.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah. So when you climb the mountain, you'll have, in a couple years, you'll have Wi-Fi all the way up. This is for, and the government was quoted in saying, this is so people can live stream their climb.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, why?
Yes.
Why are we doing this?
Because climbing Kilimanjaro is not enough, dude. You need every one of your followers to see it.
Oh my
We not only have to touch the bison, we have to live stream us touching the
Yes.
bison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which will lead to
Yes.
live streaming of getting gored by the bison.
said bison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just so ridiculous.
So
Why?
when you get to stage 1, man, you can sign off on your Facebook Live. People probably don't do that anymore, but you can sign off and be like, I'm at stage 1. I'll catch you guys in the morning. You'll turn it off, and then Facebook will do its whole thing where it processes your video really slow and doesn't post it after that.
Gosh.
You know, that kind of stuff. You can now do that on Kilimanjaro.
This is just
Soon to be followed by, they will have a Starbucks on the peak of Kilimanjaro where you can not only live stream that you've reached the summit, but that you're also enjoying a cool latte now at 10,000 feet or whatever the fuck.
Sponsored by Starbucks. So.
Yeah.
It is the highest mountain in Africa, the highest single freestanding mountain above sea level in the world. 19,341 feet above sea level. 16,100 feet above its plateau base. Highest volcano in Africa and the Eastern Hemisphere. Highest in the world. One of the Ray Didinger announcing his retirement last week. Little known fact, actually, I shared with the guys in pre-production. He was part of my dad's Temple ROTC, Reserve Officers Training Corps class back in, I think it might have been in the early 60s. I think Dad graduated in 64. So he was right around 61, 62. He was in the class with Ray, which was unbelievable. That was such a great moment. But Ray Didinger, guys, I mean, one of the all-time greats, 50-year career in the city, writing for, I think, for the Philadelphia Daily News, and then I think he went to the Inquirer, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, most notably for Postgame Live with Comcast Sportsnet. Teamed with Mike Barkan for years, ever since the inception. And just one of the all-time greats. Him with the Procopius notes, with his legal pads of, just notes upon notes upon notes. John, what's your memory of Ray? Let's just share some of them, man.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did newspaper. Probably the first person ever read that made me understand what I watched the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the first one. Like, really great writer. And then moving on, WIP was when he was working with Mac now on the weekends. Like, how much you can just learn from that man when he would just spiel off for 10 minutes. Oh, remember this guy, and this guy did this, and this guy. I had an uncle like that, and he reminded me very much of that. Like, he would give you so much knowledge in a very short amount of time about, you knew if that player was good or not, because he wouldn't pull a punch. He'd be like, I don't. He can catch, but he was always. You knew where players stood with him.
Yeah,
and they respected him for that.
Oh, no question. Yeah, I think he was one of those guys that you knew he was going to tell the truth of what he saw and what he liked and didn't like, and wasn't afraid to call people out on it. I think that was probably one of his best attributes for sure. Steve, your memories of Ray as we say goodbye to him.
Let's not make it a funeral, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. The dude at least gets to go hang out with his wife.
He does, with his grandkids.
He's retiring.
It's tiring. He's not.
It is sad. It's sad.
It is.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's not. I really only knew him from Postgame Live from the Eagles. That's just where I grew to know who he was. And you're right, he always kind of told it like it was, and he tended to have really good arguments because he had the notes and statistics to back them up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like he was always sort of the level-headed one on the show. Like Seth, sometimes I feel is too much of a negative Nelly, and Barrett sometimes tends to be a little too positive. And Michael Barkan just has his hair on fire the whole time. But Ray always had, Ray always had, like, you went to him and he would give it to you kind of straight, and you understood it, and that was the way it was, which is a shame that, he didn't have a line to any of the coaches.
So true.
Because you'd think that would have helped.
So true. I like when he would always say a win is a win. Like, before he would give the analysis whether they sucked or they were good. A win, like, remember, a win's a win.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at the win, but...
Yeah.
I do remember 12 years ago when the Flyers beat Boston in the 7-game series by coming back from down 3-0. I took my car to the car wash the next morning, Saturday, and I had the radio on, and he was on with Glenn Macnow, and they were talking about the game, and that's where the first time I kind of found out that he is not just a football guy. Like, he pays attention to all the Philly sports.
He's a Philly sports fan.
He knows a lot about all of it. His knowledge of hockey really surprised me, because I would have figured as much as attention he puts into football, he wouldn't have time for anything else.
Yeah.
But somehow he made time to understand that, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's a great memory. I think for me, probably the best thing, he was always the one guy. I think, Steve, to your point, he was the one guy that I always wanted to listen to on Post Game Live. He was like, with great anticipation, what was Ray going to say regarding the Eagles? Because you knew exactly what he was going to present the facts. He was going to say, this is what happened. This is what the Eagles need to do in order to improve. This is what they can't do. This is what they can do. That kind of deal. And it was never more evident, I think, in 2020, when the Eagles were really, really bad. And he was saying, guys, this team isn't good. It's like, this is a bad division, and the whole bit. And he's like, whoever comes out of here winning the division isn't really that good of a team, at the beginning outset. They're going to get bounced in the first round. And lo and behold, he's exactly right. And it was just one of these things where he was just a straight shooter and was so truthful in the way he presented himself and in the way he presented what happened on the football field with the Eagles.
Oh,
sample, huh? You took the sample. We told you not to take the sample.
I didn't take the sample. I vomited just from the description. Oh,
jeez.
Well, you're not going to like
before
this.
I was going to give him a glowing review. I mean, my God, that was terrible. So that's going to have to be another sponsor, John.
Done. The problem is we didn't tell Steve about the third topic. He might be doing this more.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, exactly. Because this one is not made up. Third topic. This third topic is kind of interesting because it's two really weird stories.
Yes.
Both off the wall. This first one, John, I'm going to go to you with this one, but
okay.
I'm just going to read the headline, and then you're going to have your reaction. Oreo and Ritz have teamed up and are giving away free cracker cookie sandwiches. Probably because nobody in their right mind would buy something that gross.
True.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Tastes like chicken.
It basically is a combination of a Ritz cracker with a peanut butter filling.
Yes, throw it up on the screen. Throw it up on the screen so people can see this bullshit.
And they got the Oreo with the vanilla cream on the other, and they have mashed it up. Yes, to answer anyone who has a question as to whether or not they are the same company or part of the same company, they are. John, what is your reaction to this absolute monstrosity of a snack?
So after you sent this, I went to 3 people in my life other than you guys because you both said it was nasty. So you guys will complete the 5. Right? You didn't like it. Steve didn't like it. So I went to an outside source of 3 people. I sent the picture and text to 3 people, and I got back. One was ew.
Okay.
That was just done.
Yeah.
The second one was, what the fuck is that? And the other one was like, if you make me try to eat that, I'll hurt you. That was...
0 for 5.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't work out well. It did not work out well at all.
I don't understand this. I mean, it's interesting because
it's disgusting. That's why you don't.
It's totally disgusting.
You
why
like food.
would you do this?
You like food that tastes good.
Oh
and it was bad enough when I thought they were just taking the standard Ritz cracker and attaching it to an Oreo. But then you read me the article and said it's not just a Ritz cracker; it's also peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
So you're putting the Ritz cracker and peanut butter next to an Oreo filling and an Oreo cookie.
Yeah. So peanut butter and cream have to get together, and then you need cookie and. My first response to this, I said to you guys was the TikTok thing. Like, it's going to be bought up, the shipping and handling, the $3.99 or whatever it was.
Yeah, $3.95 shipping fee.
Up by 25 of the million. The guys that have the million, right?
Yep.
And they're all going to do the taste test, and that's probably why they did this.
No question.
Nobody wants this.
Nobody. It's interesting here. This is from part of CNN. The 2 brands are definitely owned or launched by a limited time snack called Oreo X Ritz. 1 part cracker, another part cookie, as I mentioned. If that mashup sounds delicious, act quick. The company is giving out for free starting Thursday at noon on a special website. Supplies are limited. Note, however, that you will have to pay a $3.95 shipping fee.
So you basically pay the same amount you would if you bought them in a store.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
If you just went to but they know it's bullshit, so they're not even gonna take the $1 million cost to fucking ship this thing out.
Alexis Yap. No, I'm not making up that name. Alexis
Yap.
That's
an alias. That's
got to be an alias. Ritz senior brand manager, of course, had to read had to read from the placard, had to read from the 3x5 card. Said in a release that the brand, quote, has been exploring innovative partnerships over the last few years. Couldn't resist the opportunity to collaborate with our friends at Oreo on a snack that's part salty cracker, part chocolate cookie, and entirely delicious.
Why do I feel like I've heard that before?
Because you have.
Oh my gosh.
This is exactly what happens when you fucking watch too much of the Food Network. This is exactly what happens. Sweet and savory is a beautiful concept when it's left up to people that have culinary degrees, not fucking cookie companies.
Yeah.
To be fair though, and maybe it's just me, I would rather eat like an Oreo cookie instead of some fancy dessert at 5-star, $100 a plate restaurant.
And that's totally fine because an Oreo cookie is good.
Oh yeah,
but don't.
What are you doing trying to
insult me by just adding 2 products together and be like, oh, you like sweet and savory because Guy Fieri said so? Here, we'll sell you this bullshit. That's what you're doing.
That's funny that you mentioned that because that's a line my parents often used to try to get me to try something. It's like, well, you like this and you like that. So why wouldn't you like them together?
It's parent 101. I've pulled that bullshit a million times. Trying to get them to eat something different.
Well, I like ice cream, but I also like ground beef. So why wouldn't I like my ground beef stirred up in my ice cream?
Well, so Kroger will probably try to sell this to you and fucking...
Who knows?
If this thing takes off, we're screwed at that point.
So basically this was the board, I guess, or whoever... sitting around at Oreo going, oh, what new product can we come up with? Oh, Ritz is right next door. We could just
That's all it was. It was innovation because they're trying to, they don't want their practices looked at. They don't want cancel culture to come to them. They're like, we'll just put a cookie out and they'll just hate that and we'll be fine.
No, you know what this reminds me of? It's the person who you ask him a question and they look around the room and find the answer. That you
Yeah.
know, it's like, oh well, what's your name? Rocky. Right? This is all right. So what are we gonna do to the Oreo to make it to do something different? And they look out the window at the Ritz factory, like, Ritz.
The Peter
Yeah, we'll
Griffin.
put them together.
The Peter Griffin. Or Griffin and a Griffin flies.
That's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
He's probably employed there.
He probably is. He's probably head of marketing.
Well, I mean, the brand specials I talked about. I mean, that was just. I don't know what. Wow. It was bad. I think that's got to rank right up there as probably one of the worst snack inventions ever made. Easily. It's got to.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
Really. I'm not going to get that, especially. I would love to know how many you would get when you would order. That's the one thing.
That's the joke. You get one for $3.95.
I'm going to look.
I'm telling you, it's going to be the TikTok chip thing, the one chip challenge. It's just going to be the one bullshit challenge.
Well,
or whatever it is.
Well, since those people, for some god unknown reason, tend to get way more views on TikTok than we do, I volunteer Matt to order and taste one for a TikTok video.
Awesome.
All right.
Then maybe we'll get 1 million views.
Yes, I'll record it.
Here we go. So it says pay $3.95, shipping and handling only, open to contiguous U.S. DC only, void in Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. Damn it!
What the? Why are they racist?
I don't know. Just put it in there. And void starts 5/26, ends 7/5, or when all 1,000 packs are claimed, whichever comes first.
All right. Well, in a pack of Oreos, you'd get like 2. And in a pack of Ritz crackers, you get 6. So,
by the way, it's
6 times 2 is no.
By the way, the website, it's sold out.
Topic number 3 from the weird file, as we are always known to do here on Two Noobs.
Hey,
Johnny
I just want to point out Johnny
Yes.
sent this one. I want to point out this was not me. Okay, because I always do get blamed for the weird stuff. This was John. This is all on him.
100% John. Absolutely. Lab-grown blood, gentlemen, given to people in world first clinical trial. Dun, dun, dun. Blood that has been growing in a laboratory has been put into people in a world first clinical trial, UK researchers say. Tiny amounts, equivalent to a couple of spoonfuls, just a spoonful of blood will make the medicine go down, are being tested to see how it performs inside the body. The bulk of blood transfusions will always rely on people regularly, of course, rolling up their sleeves to donate. But the ultimate goal is to manufacture vital but ultra-rare blood groups that are hard to get a hold of.
Matt, can I stop you here?
Of course, yes. Go.
Does that headline sound anything like Resident Evil? Seriously.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Raccoon City.
That's like the opening text to that movie. Like,
yeah. Where's the Umbrella Corporation? What the hell's happening? You know, that kind
I'm
of...
just saying.
Wait.
That's creepy as hell.
Wait.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that?
These are necessary, of course, for people to who depend on regular blood transfusions.
Necessary.
For conditions of sickle cell and anemia, Johnny. If the blood is not a precise match, then the body starts to reject it. Treatment fails, of course. This level of tissue matching is what Matt said, goes beyond the well-known AB, and O blood groups. So, I mean, it's very, very interesting. And it goes on to say, well, how is this blood grown? And so it combines all these different teams in London. Umbrella Corporation. Focuses on the red blood cells that carry oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. They start with a normal donation of a pint of blood. Magnetic beads are then used to fish out flexible stem cells that are capable of becoming a red blood cell. Wow. These stem cells are then encouraged to grow in large numbers in the labs and are then guided to become red blood cells. Process takes 3 weeks. Initial pool of about around 500,000 stem cells results in 50 billion that's 50 with a B, billion red blood cells, gentlemen. They're then
but how
down
much?
To get,
how much is 50 billion red cells? It's like a teaspoon.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, they filter down to get about 50 billion red blood cells at the right stage. Yeah, exactly. We want, and in the most creepy quote, we want to make as much blood as possible in the future. Creepy. So the vision in my head is a room full of machines producing it continually from a normal blood donation. Oh.
John's having nightmares right now.
Never want to hear a scientist say from my head. I don't care about the fact. Okay,
no,
Steve, you're a scientist and you can do scientific experiments. I don't want your theory to be pushed upon the whole world. Like, I just want you to do the experiment and tell me. This dude is like, in my head, I'm gonna fix it all. That never works out.
Oh my gosh.
The blood is the life.
Goodness. It's the life. It's alive. It's alive.
This is
red
not
blood
good.
cells. Gents, red blood cells normally last for around 120 days before they need to be replaced. Typical blood donation contains a mix of young and old red blood cells, whereas the lab-grown blood is all freshly made. Just for your enjoyment. And yes, exactly.
Right out of the oven.
Right out of the oven. Yeah, exactly. Right out of the laboratory. Made so that it should last the full 120 days. Researchers suspect this could allow both smaller and less frequent donations in the future. There are considerable financial and technological challenges, though. Average blood donation costs for the National Health Service in the UK, gentlemen, is around 130 pounds, British pounds. Growing blood will cost vastly more, although the team will not say how much. Of course they won't, because that's funding. So it's very interesting. Of course, another challenge is the harvested stem cells eventually exhaust themselves, which limits the amount of blood that can be grown. It will take more research to produce the volumes that will be needed clinically. Fascinating science, but also very, very creepy.
Well, in all seriousness, I mean, it's good that we have the technology to help people who's with extremely rare blood types.
Heck yeah!
But the process just doesn't sound pleasant or fun. I guess it's the same thing with eating meals. You don't want to know where it comes from. You just want to see it on your plate.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like pressure on us to hit the ball. Well, I was looking back. Someone, I think.
Well, I don't have to hit the ball, but I don't know about you.
I don't have to either.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can hit it out of the infield anyway.
Exactly. Here's the thing, though. I'm looking it was so funny. I saw on a Facebook feed. Someone had posted what the 2017 opening day roster was, and it was a joke. It was absolutely hilarious. Nice. Odubel was batting third. Maikel Franco was batting fourth. Jeremy Hellickson was your starting pitcher. Freddie Galvis was batting eighth. It was a disaster. It was oh my God.
No way. Oh, don't forget. We also had the play of the year in spring training.
That's right, with a double play.
By Didi off the pitcher, Didi to Gene.
To Gene.
We're not even talking about Didi or Gene yet.
It's great.
What if Didi gets hot?
You never know. I mean, he's due for a bounce back. He's due.
Did not have a good season last year.
He did not.
I read an article. He was not healthy.
Yeah, he was not.
He had health problems all year.
A lot of issues. Yeah.
He sounds like he's in better shape this season.
That just itself bringing him having a great shortstop, and it just I think he was batting 216 for most of the season. You just bring that up to 260, you're fine.
If you're batting up to 250, you're good. Yeah,
that's way better.
So here's the thing. I'm thinking 88 wins. I think they are a wild card team. Now it's the question of who do they face. Because if they face the Dodgers, I agree with you, John. They're done.
Yeah, I think I think they're one and done. Yeah,
it's not even close. If it breaks right, though, they've got a shot to get into that divisional round, and from there, who knows? But I don't think they're going to the World Series.
If it breaks right, and the five of those guys are hitting at the level we know they can hit. They might win a couple games 11-10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it would be at least at least they'd be winning. They could, but it's a wait and see because they've never.
It really does.
This lineup has never been together. We added 2 new guys to the meat of the lineup.
Yeah.
That's.
And there's been some change, really, in terms of spring training. One guy, Bryson Stott, has really destroyed the baseball and is likely going to be your starting third baseman as opposed to Alec Boehm, who has been basically, like, I think I saw his stats was 2 for 21.
Yeah, but that's how that works out in
spring training. Really does, yeah.
Someone... If you have a, I've always said this baseball. If you have a young guy, and I'm not talking like A-level prospect, like the prospects, but if you have a young guy that is hitting the ball well in spring training, they normally don't stay.
No. Yeah.
So it's a wait and see with him.
Yeah.
I hope he's our everyday third baseman. He's hitting the cover off the ball.
Yeah, you're talking Bryson Stott. Yeah.
But I don't.
It's gonna be interesting.
I don't think you can
stamp on him and be like, he's our everyday.
Yeah, he's our third baseman for the future.
You cannot justify at this point.
Yeah.
Keeping Alec Boehm at third base over Bryson Stott.
No, you have to take the hot hand.
No question.
You also have to be willing to jump back if needed.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Yeah, and that I think it's going to be a little unsettled there on the left side of the infield. No question. Especially if Stott starts to tail off a little bit, and then you have Boehm starting to hit a little bit more in AAA.
We really didn't have that last year, so that's not.
Yeah,
that's a plus factor.
It is.
It is. We have someone that is there and reliable because that was remember first and third we didn't have most of the year. It was very mixed matchy because when Reese went out and we didn't,
Yeah, all of a sudden you have to have a Brad Miller come in.
We had a shortstop and a second baseman and a catcher. We didn't really have an infield. It's guys over there.
Now I'm thinking too, their defense. Okay, they were last in the league. They were terrible.
Yeah, they were bad.
Awful in defense. They've got to be better, obviously, if they're going to make a move in this division. I still think they're probably, if you're looking at the division top to bottom, Mets have really, although I did hear that DeGrom is out 4 weeks.
Yeah. I hate the Mets, so I don't
know. It's like, okay, and Scherzer's 37. He's not the Max Scherzer down in Washington. So they put all the money in pitching.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I don't see them as really much of a factor. I think we're better than they are. Really, it's the Braves. Are we better than Atlanta right now? And I don't see it as of yet. I think Atlanta still wins the division because of Matt Olson. I think Matt Olson's addition is huge for them. And it's like they're going to have Acuna back coming off of the torn ACL of last year. And they've got, the Ozzy Albies, and they've got, their up and down is unbelievable. That lineup is terrific. But it's going to be interesting to see how we kind of fit in that mix. I don't see the Marlins or the Nationals. Maybe Miami makes a bit of a run. Maybe.
They always give us trouble for whatever.
They always give us trouble, but...
It's that ballpark.
I think so. It's because no one's down there.
Ballpark at all. It's huge.
Nobody's down there to watch them. That's the thing. It's crazy. It's unbelievable.
All those ballparks were designed because of Ryan Howard. We're going to stop them. We'll just make them huge.
So let's talk a little to how we see the lineup unfold here, in the graphics, John. What are you thinking in terms of, if you're thinking outfield and infield, who do you see as kind of like left, center, right, and out in the outfield and then the infield? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Give me for names that the Matt center fielder, Verling, I think that's
Adam Verling? Okay.
Adam, Matt, whatever his name is. He's He's going to start in the center. You have a double spelling him every once in a while.
Yeah. Oh, it's Matt Verling. I'm sorry. It's Matt Verling.
So he'll be in center, and then you got that Kyle kid that we just got, Schwarber or whatever his name is. He's going to be your left fielder, I think.
Okay.
I can't even say half these guys' names. Bryce, of course, is in right. I think D's short.
Okay.
Gene, absolutely.
Gene's the second.
Mm-hmm. You don't, those guys.
Yeah.
Oh. We go with Reese at first, JT at
behind the plate.
Yeah, I think that I hope that young kid that's trying out at catcher. I hope he makes it just to back him up because I hear good things about him.
Yeah.
And then third baseman's going to be that Stott kid. Yeah. Okay. And then hopefully they'll put a good bench together, and I think they look.
Probably have Castellanos as
DH.
Yeah, your DH is
Castellanos.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Question on him is how many home runs he will hit during apologies.
Steve, what are your if you had to do the same thing, what would be your lineup?
I think
you're going left to right.
It's not much different than John's.
Okay.
Well, just give the differences then.
Schwarber and Castellanos can alternate in left.
Okay.
Vierling or maybe even Mickey Moniak.
Yeah.
Center. He's been hitting well.
Been hitting pretty well. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope it works out. As a former #1 overall pick, it would be nice to have that finally show up.
No doubt.
But other than that, yeah, you can't replace Bryce
right, so yeah.
or Didi or Gene or Reese or JT.
Yeah.
I mean, you can move them around the lineup all you want, but I think the positions are pretty much set. It's mostly a no-brainer. Now I know you're gonna put a Double in center and left and right field.
Yeah, you love a Double.
No, I want him cut from the team. For God's sake.
No.
Again.
I can't wait till July 3rd. Grand Slam home run when we're down 10-0. Basically, Babe Ruth.
Oh my gosh. For me, it's probably. I would probably put Castellanos in left, like with Johnny, and then I probably would be either Vierling or Moniak in center. I could be happy with either one of those two. Bryce, of course, in right, and then you've got. Stott's going to start in third. I'm convinced of that. He's won the job as far as I'm concerned. With you have Didi and Segura in the middle part of that infield, which I like. Reese at first. I could also see Schwarber at first base, and then JT, of course, catching. And then your DHs could be either. You've got. It really depends. It could be Bryce. It could be JT. It could be Castellanos. It could be Schwarber. It could be Reese Hoskins, for crying out loud. It could be either one of those, any one of those five guys.
Right in that DH spot.
Yeah. So it's a great mix and match. And I'm convinced it's I hated the fact that the NL was pitcher only and pitcher batting, but adding the DH has really been. When you start to think about it, it was I think the Phillies kind of knew this was going to happen, and they were just waiting for the right time to get that DH guy. Who can we put in there? We gotta load up offensively, and then we gotta move. We can move, mix and match, and put people in that position. So I'm convinced that Steve, you won me over, for crying out loud.
And that's what,
which is great. I love it.
That's what Girardi does best.
Yeah.
He was great when he was with the Yankees with that.
Yep.
Flipping guys out, moving them here, putting them there, using that DH as something to give a rest.
Yeah.
Which is good for everybody.
It really is.
Hey everybody, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Two Noobs Talking. If you want to see more of Two Noobs, you can check us out on our various social media platforms located right here. Until then, see you next week with another episode of Two Noobs Talking. Take care.